Who here is a skier? Who skis? Okay, a couple skiers as it goes. If you probably live in Park City and you don't ski, maybe you're not taking advantage of those ones. Some people, tell me where you learned to ski. Where did you learn?
Wisconsin, City Hill in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay, Wisconsin, like on a little bunny hill or
Little
something.
Bunny Hill with a rope tow.
Okay, great, awesome, very good. Who else?
Seattle area.
Seattle. Where did Seattle?
Purgatory, Durango.
Okay,
Mammoth, California.
Mammoth.
Western New York.
Okay, look at this. What? Sorry.
Colorado.
That's amazing. I learned. Oh, hey, Andy, what about you?
Poconos.
Poconos. Very good. I learned in a little place. Hey, sorry, Tom. What?
Sierras, but I didn't get good until I moved here.
Okay, good. Okay. Any PC people? Any people learn on that? Right here, this guy, this young man right here,
Yep.
right
Because
here.
I didn't learn until I was 40 years old.
Just like where did if you learned in Park
ski.
City? So Joe learned here, which is awesome. I learned in a little place in Cokeville, Wyoming called Pine Creek. Still probably one of the best ski resorts ever, right? Where they actually have one lift and they've got a bunny hill parts there. But when I was a little bit younger, I lived in Evanston, Wyoming, and they had this great deal for like $100. You could go 8 times in the school bus with all the kids and go there. And every once in a while they would take us to what was called canyons, and we would go to canyons in the big resort and get lost, and it was a fun time. Tell me, who was here during the Olympics, 2002 Olympics? Who was here? What events did you go to? Where did you go?
Everything I could go.
Half pipe? Everything?
Well, everything I could go to.
Or what was your favorite thing that you went to?
We were volunteers for the entire Olympics.
That's amazing.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's awesome. Good, good.
I volunteered for the Paralympics.
Okay,
So
I did
went to
too.
most of the Paralympic
Yeah.
okay.
events. But
Sorry
my
about
favorite was Snow Basin, the downhill.
Oh,
It was fabulous.
very good. That's awesome. I was 6 at the time, which is fun. But I have a great picture of me and my beret on, and I was super excited about the Olympics. It was sort of an interesting time because I was 6 in kindergarten when 9/11 happened. So I remember just the TV, something going on, going to the cafeteria, then getting excused from school. So it's just sort of an interesting time where I could just remember that little moment there. And then, what else was I going to ask you guys? Who's been a state delegate before? Anybody been a state delegate? Okay, so we've got some first timers,
So see it.
maybe
Like a backup.
backup before,
But I was there.
and
I
county
did
delegate as
everything.
through the process as it's going.
During COVID, I
So,
was a backup.
okay, during that time too? Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, that helps me get to know you guys just a tiny bit more through that process. I'm trying to think about my earliest convention and where the heck it was. They sort of just go back to these different ones as it's happening. But my name is Luke Searle. I was raised in the Heber Valley, a little bit in Wyoming as well. And I now have raised my family in the Heber Valley. I went to Wasatch High School. I brought a couple of things that just like personal that afterwards, if you are interested and you can know a little bit more about me. But I went to Brigham Young University, Hawaii for a year after I graduated high school, and that was a fun experience. I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Cincinnati, Ohio. When I returned home, I transferred to Utah Valley University and got my undergrad in political science, if you can believe it, which has been great. It was a great program, a great university. They need to work on their commencement speaker that they have for graduation if you're following that. From there, I met my wife. She served in the same mission as me, but she's from Lehigh. We got married a year after, came home from our missions, and we now have 3 children. We have a Maggie, but her name is Magnolia, like not this doggy Maggie. We have a 2-year-old son named Benson, and we call him Benny. And we have a 6-month-old baby, and her name is Clementine. So we're in it. We're in the thick of it. It's super fun. When I finish up my work, finish up graduating, and then I worked on a couple of different campaigns, wanted to come back home and live in the Heber Valley, and we were able to buy a home in Provo that accumulated enough in value for us to be able to buy a home in Heber. So we feel really lucky to be there and raising our family there. I worked for Heber City for a short period of time, and there was an opening for a spot on the Wasatch County Council in 2022. So I went and applied, and for that, applying, it was election season. It was a week before the filing deadline was a week before caucus, and now it's way up in January. So I had a fun 4 weeks, and I was able to convince over 60%, it was 68% of those 220 delegates in the county convention to vote for a 26-year-old kid who was just his hometown kid who wanted to serve his community. And so this has been my 4th year on the county council, and I've really enjoyed serving with, there's 7 other county council members. We have 5 districts and 2 at-large members, and I'm one of the at-large members that services all of Wasatch County. In this particular race, and why I chose to run, is I didn't even know if I was going to run for re-election. My wife was like, "Hey, we've got all these young kids. What should we do about this?" And I said, "Well, maybe I should just pause for a second, and we can raise them, and I can do other things as it's going." But Mike Kohler, who is our current state representative, somebody that I've known for several years, he has also served on the Wasatch County Council before. And he decided after this is his 3rd term that he was going to not run again. And he said, "Luke, you should consider it." And I said, "That's sort of interesting. It's more work than the county council, and technically it's less pay." So I'm like, okay, interesting. As I'm getting these 3 kids, as I'm going through this process of considering that opportunity. But in high school, one of my debate teachers said, the state level is a place in which that you can have a big impact, and you can have an opportunity to be able to serve your community in a really effective way. We have a citizen legislature right now, and that just means that we get to see people from all across walks of life, rich, poor, indifferent, all those other things, being able to serve. So I decided that this was an opportunity to be able to take that, and decided to run for that, and I appreciate his support in this race. But for me, I've recognized that the state that I grew up in, and now raising my family, is a state that's changing. It's a place that's harder to raise families. It's a place that, and the reason why it's harder overall for everybody is the cost of living. We've seen that with pretty much everything, whether it goes from your groceries, your utilities, all those things. And especially what I've seen is property taxes. And I think that for me, it's really important for us to be responsive to the issues that are here. Let's not be the state that we were 20 or 30 years ago. Let's plan for the future and the state that we are now. And so with that, I think that depending on a person, if they're a Democrat or Republican, I think that being able to handle that issue of affordability, probably the more Democrat side of the way would say more government. Let's get more government involved. Let's have different programs that could be able to go from it. My perspective is that what has made Utah great has not been the government or the programs or the things, it's the people and these amazing businesses that are here. Who owns a business here? Anybody own a business or has owned a business before? Used to back in the day, successful businesses that you now, I don't know if you sold them, but those are the people that I think are really, really important to this state. That are the creators, the innovators, the people that could make a really big difference. So I don't want to go on more and more, but basically for me, another reason why I'm running is there's a lot of candidates out there that talk about the growth in our state, and they say, I'm for responsible growth or smart growth. And most of them say it all the time. I don't know what it means per se. So for me, I think that you should just know I'm against stupid growth. And we know what all that means. We all know what that means when we're thinking about different developments that are happening, especially in Wasatch and Summit County. We have the highest land values of the state. We have amazing people that come here that have been really successful in different things that are there, and we're attracting a lot more that are coming. But for us, for me, I'm seeing that from a developer's perspective, because our land values are so high, anything that you can find and you can develop on, you're going to be able to make money on it. And for me, it's important for what we've had set up as a state with counties and cities, being able to have the discussion to be able to make the decisions in the communities rather than the state coming. And if you got my email this morning, there's a particular thing that we could talk about the details of this, but no more there's not a greater example of how ridiculous it's getting from the state level when a developer doesn't get what they want, including going from a third level of a hotel to a fourth level, that they can just go to the legislature and they can say, put this in a bill, it gets passed right away, and now that hotel gets a fourth level, no matter what the community thinks. And I just can't believe that that's a place in the state of Utah, Republic of State. Anyways,
It's outrageous.
yeah. No, it's happened again and again, year after year, in which that when are we going to be able to say enough's enough, and to be able to say we cannot have a one-size-fits-all solution to housing and growth here, because it's a very different situation. So for me, that's really, really important as well. So I want to get to questions that you guys have, but for me, again, I think that it's important to consider in this race. I have 2 Republican opponents and 2 Democrat opponents. To find somebody that has experience in this, local experience, I think is really important, but also a person that's willing to listen and represent you. So that's why I want to spend most of the rest of the time listening to your questions and maybe making it more of a discussion too. There's other points that need to be made, or if somebody you feel like that's the same thing or you want to add on to that, let's make it more of a discussion. I'll sit down and we can talk, if that's okay with you. And then we can go from there as it goes. Hopefully it won't take hours and hours and hours. Those of you who have signed up as state delegates, that time is going to come very soon at state convention to be able to sit and be there for hours and hours and hours. So as we go. Okay? So who's got questions?